experiment involves the population of Snickers and Twix consumers. We are comparing the proportion of Snickers consumers to Twix consumers. We took a random sample of 70 consumers using a stratified sampling method. We separated the groups by location. We had a central location, Walmart, and 3 secondary locations. Our own neighborhoods. Our experiment is a one-sample z-test using the proportions with a population proportion of 0.5. For our null hypothesis, we believe that the proportion of Snickers consumers will equal 0.5, or our alternate hypothesis is that the proportion of Snickers consumers will be greater than 0.5. We executed our experiment by simply asking our samples if they prefer Snickers or Twix.
Topic because we like candy.
You really like candy.
You should do this topic if you like candy.
Yes.
Twix are the bomb.
Snickers.
Snickers.
But I'm a fan of Twix also.
That's right.
Yes.
Snickers.
He's the outcast of the group.
Snickers.
Team Snicks. Twickers. And we're out.
During our project, we encountered a couple biases.
Yay.
Yeah. So there were some things that we couldn't avoid, like location. Even though it's not a big problem with biasness, it's still a general location where we stayed in one area. We didn't really branch out and go everywhere to ask everyone what they like. We just stayed in one area. So that's something we couldn't avoid because, you know, we have a budget. And we not about to go over budget. Please no. But we did try to avoid biasness by not asking people who already had candy bars in their hand. You know, we already know what the answer is going to be there. We tried to ask people who were just walking around doing things away from the candy aisle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. Yo, yeah.
Oh, well, alright. So, here we are in Walmart, you know,
Chilling.
having fun. This is what we do.
Yeah.
We ain't got no lies.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, OJ, Babyface, Bam Bam, a.k.a. Micaiah, Landry, and Steven.
Yeah.
Shout out to Courtney with the camera work.
See you. There you go.
He not that safe. But
She got no Twix now, though.
she got the Twix.
Twix. Okay.
I got the Snickers.
Okay.
Snicks and Twix.
Ooh.
You know.
Snickers and Twix.
Let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Ooh, they
You
got
know?
them. Alright. Snicks and Twix. You know what I'm saying?
Which candy would you prefer? Snickers? Yeah. We got 2 votes for Snickers.
Thank you.
Snickers.
Snickers. Be the different. Be the different one.
That's 3.
Twix?
12.
He's a Twix. He said Twix.
You influenced that.
He's a different. Thank you.
That was a bias. That's 12-6.
12. What do you mean 12? Miss Lasha, I know you see this. Excuse me.
Snickers or Twix? Snickers or Twix?
Snickers. Twix. Yes. Yes. Twix. What is that?
25 to 11. Shout out to
Richard.
That's why we on the game.
Shout out to Richard.
Shout out to
Richard.
We gonna call it a day. Ream it up.
Look at that Xbox.
26 Snickers, 12 Twix. You know, it's kind of a blowout. You know what I mean? Heat versus Bucks.
Shout out to Ooh. So.
Shout out to Xbox Live and PlayStation Network.
Well, PlayStation Network.
Shout out to the Lakers.
Shout out to the people that's on my team that I can't mention on this video. Go Statistics. Go Rams. Go School Spirit.
You already know.
Shout out to Miss Lasha.
You already
Making
know.
this our final project.
You already know.
Period in this thing.
You already know. My team. You already know. Shout out to Ooh. Shout out to Miss Lasha. Shout out to Miss Shields.
Now that we got all our data in, we're going to go ahead and start our calculations. We're going to perform a one-sample z-test for proportions. So first of all, we have to identify our population. Right. So P is going to equal the proportion of Snickers consumers. Alright. No, that was step one. Then next we have to put in our hypothesis, our null, and our alternative. Don't do this while I'm in the middle of
The whole and ha.
Alright. The whole and the ha, as we call them in class.
Yes.
Yeah. Love our hoes.
Uh,
Alright. Our null hypothesis is going to be that P is equal to 0.5, which is our population proportion. Alright. Our alternative is going to be that P is greater than 0.5, which is saying that I'm just going to cut that part out. Yeah. Keep it going. Alright. Next, we have to check all our conditions. We have to check if it's a simple random sample.
yes.
We have to check if the data is normal.
Or
We have to check if it's independent.
yeah.
Alright. We're going to go off that we're going to go off the assumption that
Again?
man. Fuck you want. Alright, hold on. Alright. First, we're going to check the SRS. Since we performed the sampling, we know that it's a simple random sample. So we can. What can we put? Cut it. Come on. Alright. First thing we're going to check is the SRS. Since we did it, we already know that it's a simple random sample, so we're going to put that as stated. Alright. Second, we're going to check if the curve is normal or not. And we can do that using the CLT, which is the central limit theorem. I'm going to put it CLT. And then that's checked by, we have a sample size greater than or equal to 20. Alright. Next, we're going to check independent. And we check that if the population is 10 times our sample size, which would be 700. And we check the SRS, that's checked. We have a sample size of 70, which is greater than 20. And it's independent because there are more than 700 people in the world who eat Snickers or Twickers.
Snickers or Twix?
Snickers or Twix.
Y'all know what I meant. Alright.
Yes.
Next, we're going to start our calculations. First thing we're going to do, we're going to draw our curve.
Bell-shaped curve.
Our proportion, which is 0.5. After we did all our experiments, we got our sample proportion, p hat, of 0.6. And since we want to know if it's going to be greater than, we're going to shade up. There we go.
You couldn't even hear me.
Alright. Next, we're going to go ahead and calculation of the z-score.
Calculation. Calculate the z-score.
We're going to go next into our calculation of the z-score.
That's
what I just
no,
said.
you said we're going to calculation the z-score.
We're going
You're,
to...
I mean, very illiterate right now. No.
Does it matter? It's you
Get
too!
your grammar together.
I'm all loud. See, y'all got
Yes,
me
you
loud.
are.
You're making me loud. You got me really
Then
hyped.
speak correct grammar,
Okay,
please.
alright. Can we please restart?
You be with that e-vomit.
Next, we're going to calculate the z-score. Is that better?
Yes.
Alright. When we calculate the z-score, by taking our observation, this p hat, and subtracting it by our mean, over our standard deviation, which for proportions is going to be our yes proportion against our no proportion over the sample size. Right? And since we're all technological and whatnot, we can do this all on the calculator.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to go to our one proportion z-test. We haven't entered our population sample, our population proportion of 0.5. We had 42 people say yes to Snickers, and we had a sample size of 70. And we want to know the proportion of it being greater than the population proportion. So we're going to go ahead and draw it out. Yeah. So that's going to be our curve, which looks just like the curve we drew, right? All right, back. All right, and at the bottom, we have our z-score, 1.6733. All right, and next to that, we have our p, which, if we didn't have a calculator, we would find on this chart. Bow. Just like that. And our p value is 0.0471. Alright. Now that we have all this information, we can go ahead and come up with a conclusion. Thank you. Finally. That's a lot of work. Pause. Alright. So, we're going to compare our p-value to an alpha level of, that's alpha. Looks like a little fishy. No, I'm not going to do that. Of 0.05. Right? And this is for, so this is, see, now you just messed me up. We compare our p-value to an alpha level in order to... Alright, so we compare our p-value to alpha level in order to measure the significance level of our calculations. Alright, and at an alpha level of 0.05, we're going to reject our hope. Because we do, because our p is less than 0.05. All right, and with that said, we're going to conclude that the proportion of Snickers, stop making me laugh. Y'all making me laugh. Y'all making me laugh.
This chicken head over here.
Of Snickers consumers is greater than the proportion of Twix consumers. Twix.
Yes.
So, in the end, Twix versus Snickers. Snickers win.
A great defeat.
Great defeat. Shout outs to OJ.
Yay.
Shout out to Landry, aka Babyface. Bam Bam, aka Steve-O. Shout out to the cameraman. Go ahead, shout yourself out, cameraman. We gonna cut this out anyway.
It's hanging all day.
Alright.
My boy Mikhail.
Shout out to the freshman.
Yeah.
Okay,
Class of
definitely.
2016.
Whoa.
And this ends our presentation. Where right. Let's see. Our sampling method went well. We we didn't have too many hitches going on there.
It was a really smooth process.
You know, the experiment went pretty well. We didn't have too many issues. We had technical difficulties and personal difficulties. You know.
That went wrong.
There's many.
You know, we had fun. Things that went wrong. A lot of people didn't want to pick a side.
Yeah, a lot of people they said they couldn't decide between either one, so they kept choosing both. So that was causing some complications in our results.
And another thing that went wrong, because people, they were kind of running away from us.
Yeah, it's like we were scaring people away from some parents.
Yeah, I guess when you walk up to some strange person and ask them if you like a Snickers or a Twix better, it's just scary.
I remember the lady who grabbed her child and like, she's like, come on, Jimmy, let's go.
Yeah, that's something that went wrong.
It's kind of scary.
Another thing is groups of people. You kind of want to get singular people because, you know,
when it's a group,
they're just going to agree with each other.
Yeah, they influence each other, persuade each other to go in one direction.
Yeah, so that's kind of a biasness as well. So we can put that in that section too. You know, shouts out to Miss Lashley.
Yes.
If someone else were doing this, I would definitely tell you to go after people who are by themselves and not in groups, or to like separate the people.
And not look scary when you're doing it.
Yeah, don't look scary.
You approach them with a smile.
No, don't.
No, that's creepy.
Just
don't do that.
Yeah, don't smile too hard.
Just have a slight smile. Look friendly.
Snickers or Twix.
Snickers. Oh Lord. Yeah. What went right? What went wrong? Check the bloopers reel. Bam.